Hello everyone, it's Fathi. Long time no see. I hope you're doing well. You're probably wondering what the heck happened. We're halfway through 2021 and I've posted like maybe 4 videos. So that's a problem. Y'all already know I'm busy, so whatever, we're not gonna get into it. Yeah, it happens. Go follow my Instagram. It's the only social media where I semi-regularly keep up with y'all and like stay in contact. So we're gonna do the mid-year book freakout tag today. I figured this tag could help me talk about the books I haven't been able to mention on my channel out of the 42 books I've read so far. I've had a pretty year in terms of liking the books I've been reading, so I think that's a big part of why I haven't been filming that much, but whatever, that's not what this is about. Let's go to the mid-year book freakout tag. Alright, so number 1, best book you've read so far in 2021. And this, you can kind of see it in the corner. I'm gonna have to pick Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Read. I freaking love this. I literally read this in 2 days and that has not happened in so long. It's been so hard for me to read books lately, and especially physical books, because I've consumed over half of the books I've read this year through audiobook. So this was so good. I was also at the beach when I finished it. So I was like living out my surfer vibes with a boogie board. I literally felt like Nina. This book came out in June. I ordered it from Book of the Month. We're following the 4 Riva siblings, Nina, Jay, Hud, and Kit. Nina is like a surfer model. Jay is a professional, oh my god, I can't speak. Jay is a professional surfer and Hud is the photographer for Jay, so they're both like surfing together. And then Kit is kind of up and coming. She's trying to find her place in the world, but we're basically following all 4 of them on this one day. So the book starts off like quite literally first paragraph telling you that Nina's house burns down, and then we kind of start from the beginning of that day and see what unfolds. We're also kind of jumping back in the past to see the relationship between their mother and their dad is a very famous singer, actor, and they do not have a good relationship with him. So we're kind of seeing those perspectives, and it was just so good. Technically, like, present day takes place in one day, and it's so amazing. Like, I have not felt this attached to characters in so long. I literally felt like I knew each one of the characters, and I think Taylor Jenkins has like a really, I don't know, just like a talent for writing characters and giving them distinct personalities that don't seem too fake. Like, I feel like all their feelings, like, I understand and they're valid and they like align with their personalities. And yeah, this was just so good. I ate it up. It was fun to read. It was like slightly deep but not too sad to the point where like I can't breathe. And like, this cover is amazing. Yeah, wow. I was at the beach, y'all, and I forgot to take like a single picture with it, but whatever, it's whatever. And yeah, oh, it's upside down. But I just think this book is just so amazing. I really liked it. I gave it 5 stars. Alright, number 2, best sequel you've read this year. And y'all, I have not read a single sequel. I've started a couple, but I haven't finished any. But I know which one's gonna be like my favorite, and it's the only one I'm actively still reading. The other ones I've kind of set down for a while, and that's Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson. And I was too lazy to get the cover, but this is so good. I am about, let's see, 330 pages in out of like the 1200. I'm really enjoying it. I haven't been able to read that much, but this week I finally was able to get back into it, and yeah, that's all I've got to say. I'm sure you know what this book is about. It's the second book to the Stormlight Archive series, and I really want to get to it so that I can get to Oathbringer and eventually Rhythm of War. But yeah. Okay, number 3 is a new release you haven't read yet but want to, and that I have obviously a bunch that I haven't gotten to, but I'm gonna try to stick with like physical books that I own. So Kristen Hanna, The Four Winds. I've never read a Kristen Hanna book, but I've heard they're really good. I've especially heard this book is amazing, and I guess it's like a new release, January 27th, 2021. Kinda, I mean, I guess it's already been like 6 months, but yeah, I want to get to this. I think this follows a mother and a daughter during the Great Depression, and I really don't know anything else but that, but I've just heard really good things. My Texaholic cup. Addicted to all things Texas. I have water in here. Number 4 is most anticipated release for the second half of the year. And honestly, y'all, I've really been heavily relying on Book of the Month to kind of... I've been relying on Book of the Month to let me know, like, as book releases come out. Like, during the month, I'll just see that it's a new release. But I did recently find out about The Portrait of a Mirror by, I'm forgetting the author's name, by A. Natasha Jukovsky. I think that one actually came out this month though, in June, so I guess it doesn't really answer the question, but it's the only one that I'm like excited for as a new release that I'm aware of, because I just really don't know. I've been so out of it, and I think it follows 2 couples and it's like a retelling of Narcissus, so I don't know. Don't listen to me. Number 5 is biggest disappointment, and oh my lord, do I have so many for this year. Like, I'm literally gonna make a whole separate video on books I'm disappointed by, which makes me feel so mean. Like, I've never really done something like that, but like, I have to get my feelings out somewhere. This is why I'm doing booktube, right? So I can talk about my feelings. Have I been disappointed this year? Oh my lord. Whatever. But the 2 I'm gonna mention, one I own and the other one I don't. One I finished and the other one I didn't, so I guess it doesn't really count. But the first one I want to talk about is The Crown of Gilded Bones, which is the 3rd one to the Blood and Ash series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. And this is the 3rd book. I think I just said that. I got this far, about 66 pages in, and it's a hefty book. It's like almost 700 pages, and I just was not getting into it. But a lot of people have told me that it gets a lot better. You kind of just have to push through the beginning of it, so maybe I'm wrong, and like, I still want to read it. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to read it, but like, I expected to eat this up, and I don't know if it was just my attitude, but I wanted to mention that. The next one I want to talk about is A Sky Beyond the Storm by Sabaa Tahir, which is the 4th book to the An Ember in the Ashes series. Are you kidding me? I was so freaking disappointed by that book. What even was it? I feel like there was no real character growth. I feel like a lot of the magic of the book was lost, like a lot of the appeal and what made the characters so lovable. And like, I just got tired of them whining and kind of like the redundant nature of it. Like, they all kept making the same mistakes over and over. You never saw them like learn from the exact same thing they just did like 100 pages ago. So that really disappointed me. I was not expecting that, and I feel like there was a lot that still kind of went unanswered. And like, spoiler alert, But Darren dying, like, why? That makes no sense. Like, his death was pointless. I feel like it didn't really add much. It was just one of those like shock factors. And yeah, I really dislike this book. So sad. If you want to read the series, I'm honestly like, I don't think it's worth it, because you do not get any satisfaction from it. I'm done being mean. Number 6, I believe, is biggest surprise of the year, and I'm gonna talk about 2 here, which pleasantly surprised me. And they surprised me in different ways. The first one I'm gonna talk about is This Is How You Lose the Time War, and it's written by 2 people, Amal and Motar and Max Gladstone. And this surprised me in the sense that, like, I already thought I was gonna like it, and I thought I was really gonna like it when I got it. But then when I started reading it, I was a little hesitant. I was like, wait, like, I knew the writing was a little bit, what's the word? Vague? Like, I knew the writing was gonna be vague and kind of very distant, and you weren't gonna know much. But it did confuse me. It did throw me in for a loop there for a second. I've mentioned this before, and probably you've heard of it before, but this follows like 2 agents that are like set out to multiple timelines. Like, they jump around timelines and universes kind of, to fix history and do like, to have a certain impact in the future. But we never know what the mission is. We never know what we want the impacts to be. We're basically just following the 2 agents writing to each other. They are 2 women, one is red, one is blue, and they're writing letters to each other. But oh my god, I loved it. I like really was just like immersed in the experience. So thank you for surprising me. Also, ignore how oily I am. I put like vitamin E oil on my face because I just like was out in the sun a lot this weekend, and I wanted to like help my skin out. So yes, it is oily, but it is quite literally oil. The other book that surprised me, it's People We Meet on Vacation. I didn't know much about this except that Emily Henry's other book, Beach Read, which I think was her debut novel, got a lot of like mixed feelings. Like, some people said they loved it, some people said they disliked it. So I honestly thought I was gonna dislike her writing from the things like booktubers I like had said, but then I got this baby. And I will say, it was taking me a little while to get into it, but I was really busy around that time. After having tried to read it for like 2 weeks, I had only gotten like 60 pages at most in. I was like, I'm gonna listen to the audiobook because I'm interested in the story, but it's taking me out of it that I don't have the time to give. I didn't have the time it needed me to give it to it. That makes sense. Whatever. And I loved the audiobook. I just thought it was like so freaking stinking fluffy cute, and not in a too annoying way. Like, I just love the best friend to lovers trope. Like, yes, friends to lover for me is so much better than hate to love. Guys, this will not stay down here. This follows 2 best friends who met in college, and from then on they started taking yearly vacations. But then in one of these vacations, something happened and they stopped talking for 2 years. They like rekindled their friendship and decided to go on a vacation, and then love happens, you could say. Yeah, it's a romance, but super good and just really cute, and yeah, fun. For favorite new author, this is honestly kind of hard because I haven't like read many new authors, or like a lot of one new author, if that makes sense. But I'd say Taylor Jenkins Reid. I read Daisy Jones and the Six and I enjoyed it. I gave it like 4 stars, but then Malibu Rising just really made me really appreciate her as an author. And then if I had to pick another one, it would maybe be Frederick Backman. I read Beartown last fall for the first book I'd ever read by him, and then this month I read Anxious People and I absolutely adored it, ate it up. So maybe him too. Those are like the two that come to the top of my head. My newest fictional crush has to be Marco from the Saga comic series. Like, oh, such a good man. I adore him. And he kind of looks like my boyfriend to me, so I think that has a lot to do with it. Newest favorite character, I'm gonna have to say, is like Kaladin from Words of Radiance. I really love this character, and I'm excited to see where the story goes with him. Yes, sir. Next one is a book that made me cry, and I'm gonna have to say On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. I cried quite a bit with this. I did not cry as much as I thought I was gonna cry, but solid amount of crying. And yeah, I basically cry during every single book though. Like, even if they're not sad, something will always make me tear up. But yeah, this was like full on sobbing for a little bit. So yep, this is kind of half memoir, kind of half novel. Has some poetry in it, some verses. In this novel, the main character is writing a letter to his mom who does not read English. She is originally from Vietnam. Her mom had her with an American soldier and she never knew her father. And yeah, we follow the story of the grandma, the mom, and the son and their lives in the States and the PTSD a lot of the family has. So very beautiful. But yeah, this one made me cry. Next is a book that made me happy, and I'm gonna have to say Anxious People by Frederick Backman. I just talked about this, but we're following the story of a robbery turned into hostage situation gone wrong, and kind of all the characters that are in this situation and all their lives kind of intertwine in the past and stuff like that. So it's just really cool. I thought it was cleverly done, and I like a lot of the message of like trying to understand one another and getting to know one another and just becoming more connected and loving and forgiving. It was just so good. Really good. I'm not gonna say much more because it's better to kind of go into it not knowing what's really happening. And yeah. Mwah! Next is the most beautiful book you've bought or received this year, and for this I'm gonna have to say this box set my boyfriend got me for my birthday in January. It has the Bronte sisters collection in here, some of their books. It has The Tenant of Wildfell Hall by Anne Bronte, Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, and Villette by Charlotte Bronte. And they're kind of like what do you call it, cloth bound? Is it cloth bound? Yeah, cloth bound. And they have naturey leaves on it and like this beautiful print, and I just freaking adore it. I cannot wait to read one of these. The last question is, what books do I need to read by the end of the year? And there are honestly so many that I'm not gonna like talk about any in specific. I guess I want to obviously finish the Stormlight Archive series so far. I want to finish the second book to the Jade City series. I forgot what the name was called, but I started that, never finished it. I want to read like all the books I've gotten from Book of the Month, which I've actually done really good on finishing them. And I want to read more classics. I definitely want to read some classics from the scratch off poster my boyfriend got me for my birthday. I think I showed it to y'all once, and I'm gonna make some videos with that. And it's like women in letters, so it's like all written, all classics. All the books on the poster are classics written by women, so I want to definitely read some of those. And that's about it from the top of my head. I don't really want to like narrow it down too much, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's rambly, but I honestly had a lot of fun like curating the list and just filming it. Yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.